Hey guys. So I've been having this idea of creating a podcast for quite some time now, and it wasn't until I came across Anchor that I felt like, okay, I could finally do it. It just made everything so much easier and so convenient. It's free, and you can record and edit your podcast from your phone or your computer, and they distribute your podcast to all the major platforms, which that's basically all the hard work right there. Everything you need is here in this one space. So if you're thinking about creating a podcast and you don't know where to start with Anchor. All you have to do is download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm and get started today. Hey, everyone. Welcome to this episode of Raising Noire Twins. On this episode, we're going to talk about the top 10 questions that twin moms get asked. And now sometimes it can be a little annoying just because you hear these questions all the time. But me personally, I really don't mind it because I love talking about my babies, so I don't care about it. But sometimes other people can be a little annoyed about it, like I said. So I have these top 10 questions that I know for me that I got asked all the time. Maybe if you're a twin mom, you might have a different list, or you might have a lot of the same ones that I have. And like I said, I really don't mind talking about it, but there are two questions that are on this list that I find kind of problematic. I feel like they are kind of rude and insensitive and intrusive and just all up in your business. So we'll get to those two questions later. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right into this list, starting with number 10. And number 10 is, do twins run in your family? Now, for me, yes. On my mother's side and my father's side, and also with their dad on his mother's side and father's side as well. However, when I was pregnant, I felt like, oh my gosh, how did this happen to me? Like, what were my chances, all this stuff. So I was just looking up all types of stuff. I was Googling, YouTubing, reading, all kinds of stuff. Because I was just like, what? Like, me? Twins? How did this happen? So although a lot of people think it's just because it runs in the family, there are a lot of other factors that go into people conceiving twins. Age is one. And it's said that if you are around like your mid-30s and above, then you're more likely to have twins. So I was 33. I feel like that was close enough. Like I was right in that little range there. So that was one strike. If you're African American, you're more likely to have twins than any other race. Strike number 2. Twins run in your family. Strike number 3. So boom, I'm already there. And also, if you had twins before, you're also likely to have twins again. Your diet, that plays a factor as well. And what's funny about the diet thing is that before I even got pregnant, their father used to cook all the time. And he would make these like a stew or a soup with yams in it. And it said that if you consume a lot of yams, that increases your chances of having twins. And I was tearing that stuff up because, y'all, it was delicious, okay? But I didn't know that it was increasing my chances of having twins at the time. So that alone could really be the reason why I had the girls. Also, if you have fertility treatments, obviously that increases your chances. Weight, it said that if you're slightly overweight, then you're likely to have twins, more likely to have twins. And if you're a little taller than the average woman. So, like I said, there's a lot of factors that go into it, that go into conceiving twins naturally, and not naturally, I guess. But a lot of people just always tend to focus on, do you have twins in your family? So anywho, the answer to that question is yes. Twins run in our families, both mine and his side. But when it comes to that also, like if we're just going to look at the family aspect of it, it only really matters if it's on the mom side. That's what I read. If I'm wrong, please correct me. Let me know. But that's what I read. That's what I kind of came up with throughout my research. All right. So moving right along to question number 2. Is it hard raising twins? Now, whenever I get this question, I'm always like, I really don't know. Like all I know is twin life. I just know two babies. That's it. And to me, I feel like it would be no different than someone that's raising more than one child that are like close in age. They definitely keep me busy. One's going that way, one's going the other. But as far as it being hard, I don't know. For me, it's a hard question to answer. I find it fun and exciting, and I don't know. I love it. So I don't look at it as being hard. It's just what I have to do. It's just what I want to do. I don't know if that even makes sense, but maybe you get it. Hopefully you get it. But then that question is usually followed by, how do you do it? And just like any other person that has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, all the way up to 10, however many kids you have, you just do it. You're a parent, you're a mom, you want the best for your kids, and you're going to make things happen. So whether it's 2 babies at one time or not, you're going to do what you got to do. So that's my answer to that. I don't necessarily feel like it's any harder than someone that has 2 kids that are close in age, kind of thing. So moving right along, I already answered number 8. That was the how do you do it question. So we're going to move right along to number 7, which is, are they identical? And this question is actually kind of tricky, just because when I was pregnant, they told me initially that they were identical twins. I guess maybe they only saw one sac, and so that's how they came up with that conclusion. And then about 6 months into my pregnancy, they told me that they were fraternal twins. So I was like, okay, they healthy? That's all that really matters to me. But after I had given birth to them, the nurse that was in the room was like, you may want to get this tested, because we don't know, the sacs were fused together. And so they don't know if it was 2 separate sacs or if it was one and they just kind of split off, or they don't really know. So to answer that question, for me, I honestly don't even know if they're identical or if they're fraternal. But I go with fraternal just because I don't think they look alike. I think they look like 2 little different babies that, they look like sisters, but they definitely don't look like identical twins. And I don't know if just because I'm their mom and I feel like they don't look alike, but I feel like they don't look alike. So with that, are they identical twins? I don't know. That's my answer. I really don't know. But yeah, I don't know. If any of you guys that have twins or maybe know twins or anything like that and have ever heard of this or have any insight about it, I will be more than appreciative if you would go ahead and let a sister know, because I have no clue at all. So that's kind of interesting. But moving on to number 6, do they have their own language? I would say, well, my girls are 1-year-olds, so they're not really talking yet. It's not like we're holding conversations or they're holding conversations. However, they do have the little baby gibberish going on, and they do communicate with each other, but it's like baby gibberish, they say words here and there or whatnot, but I don't know if it's just baby gibberish and they'll end up growing out of it once they start talking, or if that is their own little language they have. I don't know, but they be over here communicating for real, like laughing and talk, at each other, giggling, yelling, screaming, all this stuff. And it's kind of cool to watch too. And sometimes they give each other a look like, girl, and start laughing. And it's just like, what y'all talking about? They probably be talking about me, really. But anywho, so I don't know if they have their own language. If you guys have twins or twins, do they have their own little language? Have you noticed that with your twins or any twins that you know? Because I think that's pretty cool. I hope they do have their own little language, and I hope that they're super close. Like right now, they kind of go back and forth. Like sometimes they could be super sweet with each other and like hug and kiss each other at the most random times. And then next thing you know, you turn around and the other one's trying to hit the other one. So it's just like, I don't know. it's kind of touch and go right now. But I really do hope that they have a strong bond when they get older. So, and I think if they did have their own language, that would definitely increase the chances of them being super close and having that bond that I want them to have, you know? So moving to number 5. Number 5 isn't a question, actually. It's more of a statement. Like people always say, oh, you get 2 for the price of 1, you know, or you get, 2 for the price of 1 kind of thing. Which is, I feel like, not even true. I feel like it only pertains to the pregnancy. Like I have 2 babies and only had to do 1 pregnancy. But for everything else, I feel like I'm paying double for everything. And I mean, even with like daycare, right? You would think I could get a 2 for the price of 1 type deal or whatever. But I was just thinking, you know, maybe it would be nice to have them go to daycare like just once or twice a week, you know, have interactions with other children, different environment, just to see, like, whatever. And I felt comfortable with this particular one, you know, with everything that's going on. I know it's not the best or not the safest or the best or anything like that. But like I said, I felt comfortable with this one because I knew someone that worked there. And so I just called and I was like, you know what, let me go ahead and price it out a little bit, see what's going on out in these daycare streets, you know? So I called, got a price, and it was $500 a week for them to attend just for once or twice a week. So I'm like, oh my God, like what if I wanted them to go full time? Like I'm literally going to be just working for them to go to daycare. Like that just blows my mind. That's just so ridiculous. So you know what? I was like, they good at Granny's homeschool daycare situation that we got going on. Like we not even gonna change it up. They straight. So yeah, that whole 2 for the price of 1 thing, it sounds good, but no, you're end up paying double for everything. Like it is what it is when you have twins. So don't believe the hype, people. All right, so you know what? We're going to go ahead and take a break right now, and we'll be back shortly. All right, guys, welcome back to Raising Noire Twins. So we're just going to continue on with our list. This is the top 10 the top 10 questions that twin moms get asked a lot. So we're going to jump right back into it. We're on number 4. And number 4 is, are you going to have more children? And my answer is no, definitely not. I feel like I am blessed. I'm grateful for the 2 that I have. People always are like, oh, well, you have 2 girls. Don't you want a boy? No, absolutely not. I do not. And like I had mentioned before with the factors into conceiving twins, if you've had twins before, you're likely to have twins again or multiples. So no, I do not want to play those odds. Like, I don't want to do it. But like I said, honestly and truly, I'm really grateful and I'm satisfied with the girls that I have. I think they're amazing. I think they're so smart, intelligent, beautiful, loving, and they're everything that I need. So I'm good. Do I want any more twins? Or not any more twins? Do I want any more children? No, definitely not. It's not on my radar. Okay, moving along to number 3. Who is older? Now, I don't know why people are really interested in this question or whatnot, but Lauren is older by 13 minutes. And I guess with multiples, that's a long time, actually. Usually, multiples are born via C-section, and so they're always usually like a minute or 2 apart kind of thing or whatever. But with my girls, they were 13 minutes apart. Lauren was born breech, and then Siren had the umbilical cord wrapped around her. So that is what created that time in between there. Everything was great though. Everything worked out how it was supposed to work out. But yeah, Lauren is older. She's the more petite twin. So I guess that's probably why people are like, oh wow, I can't believe she's the oldest, because she's the smaller of the two. But yeah, she's big sister. And now these last two questions are the ones that I had mentioned earlier in the beginning of the podcast, that I find a little problematic, just because I just feel like they're really insensitive. I really do. And so I'm gonna just go ahead and say the question and let you guys be the judge. But number 2 is, did you have them via C-section or vaginally? And I mean, I personally don't have a problem answering them, but I just feel like it is a really personal question, because I don't know, you're just out there just talking to you about your vagina in public to random people. Like, I don't know, it's just weird to me that people want to know. But anywho, so the question is, again, did you have them via C-section or vaginally? I had my girls vaginally. I wanted to do everything as natural as possible, which was great that I had that option, because I was just recently talking to someone and they told me that in certain states, California in particular, that if you are pregnant with multiples, you automatically are going to have a C-section. Now, I haven't done any research on it. This was just a conversation that I was having with a coworker. So I don't know. It could be legit, could be not. I don't know 100%. But I'm glad that I had that option though, and which I think you should have that option. Like, it's your body. Why wouldn't you? But anywho. So yeah, I had them vaginally, and but there was a time throughout labor, that they thought I was going to have a C-section. Like I had mentioned earlier, Lauren was born breech, so she came out feet first, and which was fine. But then once she came out, Siren, she was like, yo, I got the spot to myself. So she was up there, like, I guess flipping around in there. She got the umbilical cord stuck around her neck. But thank goodness it wasn't so tight that it was cutting off circulation for her. But that's still a really major concern. And that's the last thing you want to hear when you're sitting here trying to push and give birth, you know? So they asked me in the middle of it and was like, you know, what do you want to do? Do you want to continue to push, or do you want to set up and do a C-section? And now that's a tough question to ask someone that's like right in the middle of giving birth. I mean, it's just like, I'm laying there and I'm like, I don't want to make the wrong decision. Like, you know what I mean? But how I came to my decision, I'm laying there and I'm just like, you know, we're already here in this position, ready to go. Who's to say, like, what can happen if we take all that time to set up for the operation? You know what I mean? So I just went ahead and was like, you know what? We're already here. Let's do it. Let's push her out. And so 13 minutes later, Siren came out, and both the girls were perfectly fine. They were healthy. They did have to spend some time in the NICU, about 2 weeks in the NICU, just because they were small. They were like a little over 3 pounds each, and their glucose levels were low. But that was the only thing that we had to worry about, because as anyone knows, with people or with babies that are in the NICU, it could have been a lot worse. And so I'm just so grateful. I'm so blessed that was the only thing that I had to worry about, was just them getting their weight up and watching their glucose levels at that time. So to answer the question, did you have them via C-section or vaginally? I had them vaginally. And number 1, this is the question that I got asked all the time when I was pregnant, and they found out that I was pregnant with twins. And I think this is the main one, honestly, that I feel like is so insensitive and just so intrusive. Like, I can't believe people ask this, but they do. So the number 1 question that twin moms get asked all the time is, let's do a drum roll. Did you conceive naturally or use fertility treatments? So, like I said, I don't mind talking about it, but this is the reason why I find this question to be problematic. And it's because, one, if somebody chose to use the fertility treatment route, it's because they were struggling with conceiving naturally. And you don't know what this woman has been through to get to this point where she's pregnant either with twins or just one baby or anything. You know what I mean? Like, and you're just some random stranger off the street asking these questions. Like, you don't know what kind of trauma that could bring to her or anything, you know, or what kind of emotions she still is processing and going through, you know, just dealing with it. And then if she's pregnant and she's had problems before, like, she's probably stressed. You know, you don't know if everything is all right. Like, yeah, you go to your appointments and stuff like that, but it's just like there's still always a risk. So, like I said, I feel like it's just a rude and insensitive question to ask people, to ask women that are pregnant. But like I said, for me, I really don't mind. I had a great pregnancy. I love talking about my pregnancy, my experience with my girls and all this stuff like that. But not everybody has that same experience, and not everybody is as willing to talk about it. So anywho, to answer number one, did I conceive naturally or use fertility treatments? I conceived naturally. I was really shocked when I went to my doctor's appointment, or my first ultrasound appointment, and she told me that they were twins. I just was like, what? Like, I was just wrapping my brain around having one baby, and then all of a sudden it's two. And I'm just like, oh snap. Like, and it wasn't a bad reaction. It was just that, oh my goodness, like, I'm now responsible for two little human beings, you know, and I just want to be the best mother that I can be. Of course, I would say all mothers, but sometimes, I don't know. But a lot of mothers have that same thing. Like, they just want to be the best that they can be for their kids. So yeah, it was a complete shock when I went to my ultrasound appointment, and she said that there were two babies in there. But yeah, did it the old fashioned way. So yeah, that was it. I just wanted to know, though, if there are women out there that have used the fertility treatment route. How do you feel when women, or not women, but when people ask you, like, oh, was it natural or was it through fertility? Like, do you feel any kind of way about it, or do you not care? Like, I don't know, because I know, just like I said, for me, I feel like that's just a rude question to ask because you don't know what that person has been through. So I'm curious to know, like, how women that have gone through that, how do you take that question? How do you respond to that question and all that good stuff? So, anywho, that concludes our list of the top 10 questions that twin moms get asked. And you know what? If I left something out, please feel free to go ahead and add any questions in the comment section, because these are the ones that just popped into my mind. I'm sure I probably left something out, or I don't know, you know, sometimes you have brain farts, but those were the ones that I came up with. You guys might have something different, and I would love to see what questions you guys get. And even if you're not a twin mom, if you're, you know, a mom with 1, 2, 3, 10 kids, feel free to comment, like, subscribe, share, all that good stuff, because you know what? You're a mom. Moms are moms. It's no different, really, if you're a twin mom or you're not. We all have the same goal, and that's to raise our babies the best way we can and do the best that we can. So, anywho, thank you for listening to this episode of Raising Noire Twins. And like I said before, go ahead and like, share, subscribe, rate, comment, all that good stuff. You know what to do. And I could be found at Facebook at Noire Twins and Instagram at Raising Noire Twins. So until next time, people, peace.